You just chop that up a little bit, okay? I'm going to put a little bit of pepper in here. Just going to kind of give them a little quick rub. We're going to dress that and make it yummy. Proof is in the tasting. Hi everyone, I'm Joe Gibbons and welcome to Marinate on That, the show that's going to give you some great tips on healthy cooking here in Bermuda. And to show that we are serious, I've asked the Minister of Health, Zane De Silva, to come out today and have a few words with us.
Okay, thanks, Joe. On behalf of the Health Ministry, we're super excited to be a part of this and sponsor it. And I know with your history with cooking and foods and healthy foods, I know we can't go wrong. I know that you add a lot of energy to this show. I just like to say how very crucially important it is for our young people to start eating healthy as early as they possibly can. It's
Absolutely.
Very important. You hear that, young people, and our older people too. But what we're going to focus on, what Joe will be focusing on, is how easy it is to prepare to eat healthy. It's not boring.
We're doing simple things here, Minister, as we were talking about before this. And you said, and everyone, the minister here eats out 29 out of 30 days a month. So you know he's eating healthy because he's in great shape. Well, you know, a little bit of fat there, but not much, Minister. So
That's
you're
right.
doing it well. And if you stick to some of the tips that we're going to give people today, we're all going to stay healthy and look good. You know?
Okay. Very important, Joe. You said it. You know, I could use a little bit more exercise, and you're right. Bermuda has the highest percentage of diabetes in the OECD.
Damn.
We are very high up in terms of the percentages of our population that are obese or overweight. I am one of them. Everybody says, Zane, you look like you're in good shape, but I could lose 8 to 10 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's very important.
Well, thank you very much. We're going to get on with this. We're going to show some nice, healthy, low-fat tips here in Bermuda. I really appreciate it, as do the viewers here, you coming along, taking time out from your busy schedule to just underscore how important this is. Thank you very much, Minister.
You're welcome.
Yep. Happy eating.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Welcome back. Now, the purpose of today's show is picking up some tips on how to cook and eat healthy. So when you think healthy, you think vegetables, you think fish, you think chicken, and we're going to look at all of these things here today because these are staple dishes that Bermudians eat, chicken and fish, okay? We eat them every day. We're going to show you some tips on how to eat them healthy. I'm starting right now with vegetables. Now, when you go shopping in Bermuda, what do you find all the time, right? Broccoli and cauliflower. I mean, you know, you eat broccoli and cauliflower until you're just tired of it, but you can get it every day. You don't have to go to fancy stores and get fancy foods. You don't have to buy organic foods. You don't have to spend a lot of money to eat healthy. What you have to do is cook it in an interesting way and make it taste good. So I'm starting with roast vegetables. Now, roast vegetables, root vegetables. I've cut up some carrots. So you've got some carrots in here, right? I'm going to put some red peppers in here. You just take red peppers, you cut the veins out of it, you take the seeds out. You can't digest the seeds. If you don't like red peppers, use green peppers, okay? There's no magic here. Cut them up into nice, like thick julienne slices. You're going to cut them in half, put them in the bowl. Celery is another item. Celery is great for you. You take it, you clean it, cut it into strips. Like a rough julienne, cut it in half. Now, all this stuff can be bought easily. You can prepare this up quickly. We're going to cook it. It's going to take about half an hour in a very hot oven. Now, that's another thing when you're cooking. Most people, when they cook at home, are afraid to use a hot oven. You cook things, 350 degrees, and you think that's a hot oven. It's not a hot oven. Don't be afraid the stove isn't going to blow up. It's not going to catch on fire. 450, 425. Put it in there, let it cook. You want it to roast. So vegetables, what you're doing is taking out a lot of the moisture from the vegetable and you're concentrating the flavors, okay? So that's what roast vegetables are all about. So I've got onions I'm throwing in there. I've got zucchini, okay? Take the zucchinis. You don't even have to peel them. You just wash them. You cut them into quarters like that. Nice big chunks. Pick them up. Throw them all in the pan. Now, canned olives add a little color. You can throw in canned corn. If you're using any canned ingredients, always rinse it first. Okay, you think you don't have to use oil. Well, you have to use a little bit of oil. I'm going to put a little olive oil in this right now. Take the top off it. Don't worry about the oil. You need it to roast the vegetables, okay? I'm going to put a little bit of pepper in here. I'm not going to put salt in here. You can add salt later, okay? Stir it all around. Just get it all mixed up. Get that oil going in there, okay? You need a roasting pan. Dump it in the roasting pan. Now, see how easy that was? How long did that take me? A couple of minutes? About 425 for half an hour. And I'm going to be putting that in the oven to roast that up. And you're going to see what that looks like at the end of the show when we bring it all up. Now, I'm going to clear all this off. Broccoli and cauliflower. You cook it every day because that's what we get every day. You can't always get carrots in Bermuda. It's the great mystery. So I've got here broccoli and cauliflower. It's been cooked. It's been left over because you want to steam it maybe. You can add cheese to this. You can add fresh herbs to it. What I've got here is just broccoli and cauliflower, and we're going to roast this as well in the oven, but we're going to do something different. I'm going to take, again, a little bit of oil, and I'm just going to throw that on there. Not much. It's about a tablespoon of oil. I'm going to stir it around. Whoops. Stir that around, and you want to put breadcrumbs. Now, there are a number of things you can use here. These are panko breadcrumbs. So I'm going to put the panko breadcrumbs on top. Panko because they're crispy and crunchy. It's better than the flat breadcrumbs. I've got a lemon and I've got a microplaner. So you don't always have one of these. You can use a box grater if you want. I'm just going to grate some of the zest off that lemon. Just run it around the lemon like that. It's going to give this a really nice zesty taste. Okay? So that's all you do with that. Mix that in there. Get a roasting dish. Now, we've got the crumbs in there. When that roasts, the crumbs are going to be nice and crunchy. You've got a taste of lemon. You've got some pepper in there. You can add a little bit of salt to it if you want. So again, no secret to having good, healthy vegetables. I've got starch here. I've got some cannelli beans, and I'm going to show you at the end how I'm going to use those. Canned cannelli beans, boil them. You don't need mashed potatoes. We're going to season them up a little bit and serve them right alongside our fish and chicken, which I'm going to show you how to do in just a minute. Okay, and now we're back with the fish. It's one of Bermuda's most favorite dishes. Fish. Now, the best way I like fish is fried. But we're not here to show you how to do fried fish because we know fried fish, even though it's yummy, it's not the best kind of healthy fish. And this is a healthy cooking show. So we're not going to fry the fish today. I'm going to show you how to oven bake the fish, okay? We're not even going to put it in a frying pan. We're going to oven bake it, and it's going to come out crunchy. That's what you want. That's why we like fried fish and fried chicken. You get it. Yeah, you get a little bit of that grease, but what you really like is that crunch going on the fish. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, I'm working with tilapia here. Yeah, you can use any kind of fish you want. You can go down to your favorite fisherman. You can get grouper. You can get rockfish, anything you want. But tilapia here because it's reasonable. Now, I've got 4 fillets of tilapia. These are boneless. They've been frozen. They were $8 for 4 fillets. So that's $2, okay? In Bermuda, that's pretty good value. Now, to get this crunchy, I'm going to do a type of battering here that they call à l'anglaise, but that's kind of fancy. That's a culinary term. To keep the stuff on, you got to dip it first in a little bit of flour, and then like an egg product. So I'm using egg whites because it's healthy. There's no cholesterol there. There's no fat in egg whites. You can use egg beaters, whatever you want. The trick also is to keep one hand free and cook with the other when you're doing this kind of thing, because you can get flour on it and everything else. So the idea, a little bit of flour. Now, if you have a gluten-free diet, don't use the flour, okay? You can use something like a rice flour. You can use garbanzo bean flour. You go to the local health store and you get something that doesn't have gluten in it, and you're going to be just fine, okay? Now, this here, cornflakes. So to make my crunchy fish, I've got cornflakes in a plastic bag, and I'm just going to crunch them all up, okay? Crunch, you just want to crunch all those cornflakes up. Now, everybody's got cornflakes in their pantry. You got kids, you got cornflakes. It's so easy, okay? Take that piece of fish, get the egg around it there, open your little bag, drop it in, okay? And shake that all around, okay? That's what you're gonna do. Make sure it's nice and well covered, okay? Then you're gonna take that out. Before I take that out, what I'm gonna do is, this is a handy little device here. It's got oil in it. I use canola oil. You pump it like that. You don't need any kind of aerosol in that. You just pour any kind of oil you want in there, and I'm gonna spray my roasting pan, okay? So there it goes. It just sprays all of that. Keep the fish from sticking. I'm going to take my fillet out of my bag and lay it right. Now look at that. All that yummy crunch, okay? If you don't want to use cornflakes, again, a gluten thing, you can get panko. This here is actually farine. Now, you get farine in all the supermarkets here, okay? It comes in those little kind of like plastic containers. That is fine enough to bread anything with, okay? You eat it plain. It's full of protein. It's really good for you. There's no fat in that at all. So I'm just going to go ahead, dust these fillets here. Just that is used to keep the egg on. I'm going to put it in the egg and back in. So I'm going to continue to do this. We're going to get all of our fish done. And then I'm going to pop these in a nice hot oven, again, 400 for about 10 minutes. And it's going to crisp up. That fish is going to cook through. And then we're going to serve it with our crispy roast vegetables. And you're going to see how this turns out in just a minute. It's kind of fun doing this too. Now, the next thing on our menu today is chicken. Again, a big popular item in Bermuda. It's probably the #1 seller in Bermuda after fish, but that's probably true everywhere. So we Bermudians aren't too often we eat a lot of chicken. Now, you can buy chicken in many ways. You can get it on the bone, off the bone. You can get organic chicken. You can even buy fresh, organic Bermuda chickens. They're really good, but they're a little expensive. So I'm not advocating that for something like an everyday dinner. What I've got are chicken breasts. Now, these are boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I bought them that way, but you don't have to. You can actually just buy a good bag of frozen chicken, chicken breasts, chicken thighs, skin on, bone in. But for this recipe, you're going to want to take the skin off because that's where all the fat is. And I know sometimes the skin is really good when it gets all that crunch going on, but we've got crunch with our fish tonight. So I'm using chicken and I'm going to put a seasoned crust on it. We're going to Cook it in a frying pan with a minimum amount of oil and finish it off again in the oven. Now, you could do this on a barbecue as well, but for our purposes here, and for many people, a barbecue isn't always handy. If it's raining, it's wintertime. So here we are. I've got 3 chicken breasts, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. In here, I've got just a little bit of garlic powder. Don't use salt. Garlic powder, onion powder, and some cayenne pepper. So cayenne pepper for bite, as well as a little regular pepper. So again, no salt in any of this. You can always put salt on at the table when you eat it. So I've got my special little oiler here. Hear that? And that's just me pumping that up. I'm going to put a little oil on these. And again, don't worry about the oil. There's next to no oil there going on that chicken breast. I'm going to take these, and you're just going to kind of give them a little quick rub in this seasoning, okay? Now, if there's anything here you don't like garlic, change it. You can put anything in here, any kind of a seasoning, herbs, but not herbs until you're finished, because herbs will actually burn. So dried herbs we always add towards the end of the cooking process. Here, you want things like the garlic salt, the garlic powder, and the onion salt, okay? So just cover them all nicely with that. Then I'm going to take this, put it in our hot frying pan. We're going to sear it, and then it's going to finish in the oven. So to pan sear our chicken, we need a really hot pan. Now, I've got my favorite iron pan here. It sort of belonged to my father, probably belonged to his father. So it's well seasoned, it's iron, it's pretty much a non-stick. To do this, you want a good non-stick pan. If you don't have one, invest in one. I know it's an added cost, but hey, we're talking about our health. We're talking about what we put into our mouths, what we eat. We'll go out and we'll spend money on cars and bikes and CDs and all iPods. Buy a decent frying pan, non-stick, okay? You'll never regret it. So my pan is nice and hot. I've got my seasoned chicken breasts, and when I lay them in there, I want to hear them, okay? So that's it. You hear them sizzling, they say that's singing to you, okay? Nice and hot. Now, again, don't be afraid of heat, because we want to sear a nice crust on these. I can smell it already. I can smell the spices, I can smell the garlic, I can smell the onion. Good and hot. Always when you cook, you put presentation side down. So you put the smooth side of the chicken down first, then you flip them, okay? They form really, really quickly a little brown crust, as you see here. Now, I'm going to flip them over. I've got a piece of foil here because these are going to go in the oven 375 to 400 for about 20 to 25 minutes. But to keep the moisture in, I want to cover them up and make sure that they're going to cook. If you've got a lid or something you can put on the top there, that's good as well, okay? Make sure you don't burn yourself. I can just about handle that. Now I'm going to go over, fire these into the oven, and give them about 25 minutes covered like that, and they're going to come out, they're going to be cooked, and they're going to be pan-seared. They're going to have a nice crispy coating to them, and they're going to have that nice garlicky onion flavor. So we're going to see what they look like in just a couple of minutes. So I'm back now with Bermuda's favorite broccoli and cauliflower, okay? Now, you remember, we've taken some leftover broccoli and cauliflower that had been steamed. We rolled it in some breadcrumbs. We seasoned it up, and we're baking it in the oven, okay? What I've got here is some more broccoli and cauliflower, and we're going to show you a different way of cooking this. Now, the easiest way to cook this is cut it up into little flowerets. You can discard the stems if you want. Keep them, they're good in salads. Boiling salted water, don't worry about the salt. It's actually going to keep it vibrant. It's going to keep the green and the broccoli nice and green, okay? So just dump that in. You want to cover that, bring it back to a boil. It's going to take about 2 minutes, all right? Cook it through for about another 2 minutes. You don't want it soft and soggy. You want it crunchy. If you're making pasta, you want it al dente, okay? So bring it back to a boil, give it another 2 minutes, strain it, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do with it. We're going to mix it up with some herbs and some cheese, and that's going to be another really yummy, quick and easy side dish. So my 2 minutes are now up. My broccoli and cauliflower are blanched. They're crisp. They're not soggy. You don't want to burn yourself, so you just drain this off. You have a sink handy, and then we're going to dress that and make it yummy. Now, my vegetables have drained in the sink. It's broccoli and cauliflower. I'm going to put it back in the bowl. Now, what I've got to do with this is season it because there's nothing in there right now, okay? So, look, a little bit of pepper. You can put salt, but remember we're not cooking with a lot of salt. But here is something that everybody loves, and it's cheese. Now, cheese is usually full of fat, but you can buy these shredded cheese packages anywhere in Bermuda, any store. Get the low or reduced fat kind, okay? It's good for you, it's got calcium, it can be healthy, but take the fat out, all right? So, a little flavor for that, we're gonna throw in a nice amount of cheese. Now, I've got some herbs as well. You can use fresh herbs or dried herbs. Remember, always add your herbs towards the end of the cooking process. So I've got here just some plain old marjoram. Marjoram or oregano. In Bermuda, we use oregano and marjoram in a lot of dishes, you know, in our fish cakes, stews, fish stews, that kind of thing. So use it here in your vegetables. And I've got some chives. Now, if you don't like chives, add something else, okay? Throw it in there. You're going to mix that around. And as it sits, the cheese will kind of soften in there. It's not going to melt like full fat cheese, but you know, don't worry about that. So we're going to plate that up. You got to put it in something that makes it look a little attractive, okay? And we're going to be serving that alongside the roast and breaded broccoli and cauliflower that we did earlier on. Now, I've got the chicken and the fish working in the oven. They're going to be ready in just a couple of minutes. But to make this kind of extra special, we need a sauce. And the sauce can't be mayonnaise. Even reduced fat, low fat mayonnaise, kind of tempting, but actually I hate the taste of it. If you're going to eat mayonnaise, use the full fat kind, but we're not eating mayonnaise here today. So I'm making a salsa, and a salsa is Mexican, or it's Spanish for sauce. It can be any type of combination of vegetables and fruit that are cut up, marinated in vinegar or a little bit of oil. Today I'm making a pineapple and black bean salsa. So I've got it here, some crushed pineapple. You just buy it right in the can, drain it, throw it in. I've got a can of black beans. Again, put it in a colander, strain it, always rinse any canned vegetables you've got. Remember, you gotta get the water, you gotta get the salt, you gotta get all that stuff in there that preserves it. Get it off, throw it in a little bowl, and often you wanna use a glass bowl, not a metal bowl, because it might react with the acids and vinegars. I've got here jalapenos. Now these are available everywhere in Bermuda. If you got your own pepper plant, use your own hot peppers, but you want some zing in this, okay? You want some bump, okay? So I'm gonna cut that up. Nice small dice. It's what we call a dice. So again, you cut it in like little matchsticks, and then you cut it across the matchsticks. You don't need a whole lot because it's pretty hot. Take the seeds out. You take the seeds out in the membrane, okay? Split them in half, take the seeds out, chop it up. Red pepper, now we know red pepper is not really hot. You put red pepper in, anyone? For color, okay? So it goes in for color. Again, nice and thin, thin strips, and then you cut it across, and you make a nice small dice. Don't worry about how it looks, okay? It's all going in the same place, okay? So you throw that in your bowl. Now, cilantro. Cilantro is sometimes called Chinese parsley. It has a very distinct taste. A lot of people don't like cilantro, but it works very well in salsas, okay? Especially vegetable and black bean salsas. So you just chop that up a little bit, okay? Work the knife over that. you want everything about the same size when you make a salsa, so you don't have like a little black bean and then a big chunk of red pepper or that kind of thing. You want to cut it all up so it's about the same size. So what? That took me 2 minutes? Okay. So 2 minutes, there you go. You're going to mix that up. And it's best to make this a couple of hours beforehand, okay? You need a little oil in there, okay? Just a touch of oil. And again, about a tablespoon of oil. But a tablespoon, this is enough here for 6 or 8 people. So don't worry about that, okay? That's going to sit there for a couple of minutes. Now, earlier on, I said we're going to show you something really simple to do with the cannelli beans, all right? These are canned beans. Now, if you don't like mashed potatoes, because you got to put a lot of stuff into mashed potatoes, here is a tip that we're going to serve along with our fish and our chicken. The cannelli beans, 2 cans. You boil them for, 5 minutes until they're really nice and soft. Then I'm going to take a masher, and I'm just going to lightly mash them up a little bit. You can add, at this point, a little bit of skim milk in here, a little bit of the cooking water, or nothing. That's all you have to do. You just mix them a little bit. I'm going to borrow my spoon here. And then you'll see it forms like a real starchy protein base. I eat this all the time because I don't like the mashed potatoes, okay? So that we're going to serve with our chicken when we get our chicken out of the fridge. And the other thing you can do as a side for this meal, sweet potatoes. They're available in Bermuda, not year-round, but a lot of the time. And a sweet potato here, I had some here. I've just cut them in half, and I've grilled them off on a barbecue. So it gives them little grill marks. Now, at home, you can take a sweet potato, cut it in half, and put it in the microwave. Give it about 3 minutes, depending on the size. Take it out and serve it. That's all you have to do. If you want to put it on a barbecue, take the sweet potato, cut it in half, give it 2 minutes on the barbecue, brush it with a little bit of oil, a little seasoning, put it on the barbecue until it gets nice grill marks on it, take it off, and you're fine, okay? So now I'm going to go get the chicken and the fish out of the oven. So when we come back, we're going to show you how all this comes together, and we're going to show you a couple of healthy plates of food that are also going to taste real well. So the proof of all this is in the eating. Now let's quickly recap, okay? We've got some healthy dishes. It really hasn't taken me any amount of time to do this, okay? Now, remember broccoli, cauliflower. We had some leftover broccoli, cauliflower. We quickly reheated it. We threw some crumbs around it, a little bit of lemon zest, and roasted it in the oven. That's what you have, nice crunchy top on this. We've got cheese and fresh herbs with the other one. In here, we've got roasted vegetables in an oven. They don't have to get crunchy, but they get nice and soft, and the flavors are concentrated. I've got my cannelli bean mash, and if you want, you've got sweet potatoes, okay? Now, the chicken. See, pans here, you've got a nice crust on the chicken here. That's going to have a really good garlicky onion taste, okay? But what we all really like is the fish. So I've got the fish here. It's got a nice crunchy top. We're going to put that on a plate. I'm going to take some of the pineapple and black bean salsa. I'm just going to dollop that because you want a little bit of that with your fish, okay? Come back here, get some roast vegetables. Nice olives, look at that, see? No fat on that at all, okay? And I like a little bit of the cannelli bean dip. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of that on the plate, and there you go. That meal would take you about half an hour to make. It's cost effective, it's healthy, and next time I see you, I wanna see you guys eating something like this, okay? Proof is in the tasting. You always got to do this, you know. Crunchy corn. I can hear the crunch. It's delicious. The salsa is perfect. I like that. You just chop that up a little bit, okay? put a little bit of pepper in here. Just gonna kind of give them a little quick rub. We're gonna dress that and make it yummy. Proof is in the tasting.